Hey guys, welcome to another video. We are going to work on some studies here. I've got my book here that I'll be working from. Sorry, give me a second. All right, sorry about that, you guys fell. But so we're gonna be working from this book, Anatomy for Artists, Drawing Form and Poses, Drawing Form and Pose. This is by Tom Fox Draws. It's been a while since I've actually worked in this book. So what I might do is I stopped at the rib cage, and I think what I might do is kind of go over, I don't know, we'll see. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can hear my TV or not. If I'm trying to keep it low enough to where it doesn't pick up, just for the simple fact that I don't want to get a copy strike on the channel, but whatever. So let's see what we got going on here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm probably going to do a quick review of the rib cage, and then we'll pull up some reference that I have on my tablet of poses, and we'll kind of maybe work through that. I've kind of worked on the head already in the past, so we'll probably do the head and torso area, and go from there. We might even do, I think I've done the neck as well. I don't think I've done the muscles of the neck, but we'll probably work on that as well, maybe. That's fun with that letters too. Why? And then I think I need to, we'll draw in pencil, and then we'll go from there. So, asking yourself what forms will do, what do these most also balance need to achieve towards a must follow. Most well for expansion of body, and muscle mass. But what's between four with benching a nice like two scope for the body to bulge out when muscles like that B. And the truth on the page is higher. The page is higher at the center. You should. Going to bed, but without put your nose. But what is it? Answer is D. All right, so I'm gonna go based on what I know about the rib cage. So I know with the rib cage, it is an egg shape with the wider, with it being wider around the middle area. And then you have, I forget what this is called. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Hopefully the phone doesn't fall again. move this. I'm gonna move the book out the way a little bit because that's not the focus. Focus is me studying. So it's the, what is it? The clavicle. Where's my? I've got a few books on drawing the figure. So. It's not the clavicle. It's not the clavicle. I'm trying to think of the actual name for that bone. What the hell is it? The sternum. Jesus. Alright. So, the sternum here, you can think of it as a tie. So it kind of angles out like a tie. I want to start working on creating cleaner lines. So, what the hell? Bruh. So, think of it this way. Think of it as a tie. And then the rib cage, connects from there. This is not a drawing lesson or tutorial. This is just me studying. So if you're looking to learn anatomy, please do your own studies or studies or lessons from better qualified people. So I'm just getting the basic shape of the rib cage. I don't need to know. I don't need to go into individual ribs because that's not my concern right here. I'm going to draw a light line back here because this would represent the back of the rib cage here. I'll shade that in. But I have done studies on the actual rib cage through a course that I took a while ago. It's called The Structure of Man. I think I still have, let's see if I still have, yeah, I still have like the original like breakdown of like going into the actual skeleton and the individual bones. Maybe one day I'll do a flip through on that. But this is understanding the actual form, which is something that course did not go into. So we have the front, of course. Then what I'll do is I'll do this. I'll do a line to kind of even it out here. And I don't need to mark these because I know what this is. This is my sketchbook. So if someone else wants to, if you're learning the rib cage or the human figure, I would definitely suggest labeling if you need it. I'm gonna do midway, so about here will be the widest part. And then here. And then I actually want to, because if I'm going back here, this would curve somewhat up. If I'm coming from if I'm looking from the back side. Right. And then the spine would go here. And it would actually come wider here, and then I've done studies on the spine, so that's why I kind of know this part. Oops. It's not perfect, but that works. And then this curves here. Then I don't have the exact numbers of the spine, but that's fine. It's not meant to be anatomically correct. And then we'll do from the side, because I want to start working with the plane, so I'm getting so the front of the spine leans forward here, the back expands out and curves in. You have the front going here, and then you can go here. Okay, this is where the sternum would be. You have the hole here. I don't think it angles out that far, but we're gonna roll with it. This is the general shape of the torso, or the rib cage from the side. And of course you'd have the spine here, and it would go here, and it would come out here. And of course it would take up more of the rib cage, but whatever. I'm not worried about actually what I'm gonna do, because I need to I'm working with form here. So I want to understand the curvature of the rib cage. And to understand that, I'm going to put in the ribs. So from here, I'm just kind of going up from here, because what happens is the rib cages turn towards the back area. So you do have floating ribs, or what people call floating ribs. Where they are connected in the back, but they don't connect to the actual sternum. And then, of course, each rib would connect to an actual vertebrae in the spine, but we're not doing that. But they would curve up. And this kind of gives me an idea of the planes here. I think I got that right. I'm checking multiple references and resources to make sure I had the understanding of the spine down. So this isn't giving me what I want. Nope. I have to go somewhere else. I even have like the Atlas of Anatomy for Artists. So here we go. So here you can see the curvature. I know this is the interpretation of the artist, but I mean, you can find like an actual picture like of like skeletons and anatomical, more detailed anatomical stuff. But I'm looking at here, and the curvature is they're going downwards. So that's the curve we're going to continue to go with. A downward curve. Alright, and the side. Bring that book back out. See if I can find a side view. I don't know if I have a, yeah, they do have a side view. Okay. So it goes down and hooks. Okay, so goes down and like hooks up. So I'm gonna make a note here. All right. So this is my general understanding of the rib cage. Another way I can think of the rib cage is an egg shape. For the most part. So this would be where the head would go, and then midsection about halfway here. And then this would be where the cutout would be for the rib cage. That's how I can think of it as well. Or I can do like, I could do an oval, like a semi-oval circle, and then just kind of do it this way. It's not really accurate with the actual skeleton of the rib cage, but that's another way of thinking about it. All right, so I brought this up because I was going to use it, but I'm not going to now. So I'm thinking about it. Okay, so they're thinking of this if I'm doing a box shape here. I'm trying not to do scratchy lines. I'm trying to improve my line quality on top of studying. Because I know I tend to do scratchy lines like this a lot. So all right, so let's see what we're looking at here. From the front view, you would have this here. This would be this part here. I don't think it has a front view. I mean, if I'm doing front view, I guess you would do here to, if I'm doing a box, right? If I'm doing a box, this would be the front view. Because this would be going, because this is where your intestines and all that good stuff would go in. So you have the front view, and the back view. And I'm trying to take note of the book because this book encourages you to find your own way of doing things. So don't be so confined to how the artist interprets the form. They literally talk about like trying to find your own way of doing it. So the back, and we'll cut into this later as I follow through the book, but I want to kind of get an idea of this. because this curves in, right? So actually, if I want, I could do this and then actually tilt this here. If I want to. We'll go with that for right now. For the front and then the back. Because it still curves. It's got that curve. We've got the wide part here. But this also curves in. This part right here, this curvature, I'm not too worried about. I'm just going to keep it that way. I am going to use... I feel like this should have been more elongated, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're looking for understanding, not for perfection here. Which is another thing I struggle with, perfection. Perfectionism. So the side view, I'm gonna make this a little bit longer. It's gonna be a rectangle. So I have here. No. And then, yeah, because I can do the sternum here. And then here. This would kind of be like the side view. No, I don't like this part. Like that needs to change. This part too. So if I'm going here and then here, I guess. I don't like this one. But I mean, that's the best way I can think of it though, if I'm looking at this. I'm gonna look at the book real quick, because I see, as you can see, how it has it here, or here. How it interprets the side view is here, down, and then that's how it interprets the side view. Yeah, I'm trying to actually interpret. Actually, here we go. There's a better view of the side view right here. So the way it portrays this side view, it's kind of like a 3/4 view, but I'm going to do a box shape first. or a rectangle. It has the back here. This curves in slightly. This curves down, but it also curves out. So it goes down, and then you have this out part. And then this comes down here. And then here would be like where you might have like the arm placement here, right? Yeah, I don't like that. All right. So this here, there's a plane here because it angles out, so it comes out and then down in a way with the rib cage. All right. Let's I'm gonna draw this out from the angle they have here. So I'm gonna do a box. I'm gonna try to start doing these more in boxes, starting out with boxes and then carving into them versus just trying to do the shape. And this will help me think about form and space and perspective and all that goodness. So here, all right, so there's, go from the side, there's a slight down angle here. I'm trying to remember this not to be perfect. So center here, the center of the chest would be here. I'm gonna mark that in here so I know what I'm doing. Because this goes towards the center. And then it comes in slightly on the side to give this effect here. And then this comes in here, which is this back area. Right? And then, so if I extend this out here, and here, there's a somewhat of a angle here. Right? And this extends out slightly. Because this kind of curves, if it's going up, it's kind of it's going this way, going here. And then I'm hoping this makes sense. I'm trying to explain it while talking to myself. To myself, it makes sense. And then this goes in. This curves in. And there's this sternum part here. Because that has mass to it. So this represents this part here. But it goes in because we're talking about a box shape here. There we go. And then there's that back other side of the rib cage here. And then this is angled because that's how it is. I know it just goes straight down. And then you have the hole of the head here. I'm trying to think if it was the back view. So This is the back view. You have this here. And this goes in. I feel like the back would come up slightly. There might be like a, because you have this curvature area here of the spine or of the rib cage. But I feel like, yeah, because you have that, this is, so I feel like this would be okay for like the back view. This I will mark. And then, oh shit, dropped the remote. So let me close this book here. I'm working out of multiple books, so if you feel like you have to do that to get an understanding of something, go ahead and do so. You can think of the ribcage as a container that protects the lungs and heart. Start with E. And take slices off the front to create 3 planes. Alright. So I have gone through this before, this particular section, and I'm rereading it because it has been a while since we've dived into this part. I want to have a better understanding of it. So I'm pretty sure I actually got pretty far in this. Yeah, because I even did like the vertebrae and everything. And like the spine. So, alright. So, and it's talking about the same thing. Wait, how is this 3 planes? I feel like it's this. I don't consider that other part because you're taking it out. Oh, okay. That's where it's starting from. So how this is blocking out the rib cage is, and I don't like how it's blocking out the rib cage, so I probably won't use it going forward. Is it's saying this is the rib cage, and then I want you to block it out. I feel like this is actually, there we go. It's too wide. But let's see. Let me do this in pencil first. Ooh, sorry. I think I'm kind of out of the frame here. All right. So it's saying like to cut this, or starting out, you would cut this because you're gonna have different planes of the rib cage. So you would have one plane here, second plane here, and the third plane here. And then shit. This actually would tilt up here. This would kind of be flat. And this would curve in. And this, like I said, this plane is actually larger. So what we would do, I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. And then lay it flat here and then come down. And it's showing that this is at an angle. It's not straight. There we go. And then go back here. I will go ahead and mark this as well. That's supposed to be like the center area. So you have 1 here, 2 here, and then it's showing 3 here. But here's the thing. When, as far as the front goes, 1, 2, and 3 end up getting cut out from the front view anyway. They're still present, semi-present from the front, because you have like this. Damn it, let me. This is making sense to me, and I don't think I'm explaining it well for other people though. If those who are interested anyway. So I'm looking at this. I'm gonna do the front view of the rib cage, and then like a 3/4 view of how I'm thinking. And then 3/4 view, so I'll do here. And then we'll do center. Actually, technically, if I want to find center, I'd do an X here, an X here. Oh shit! Bitch, tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So that's that's center. That's how you find center of a box and perspective. You do an X. Quick lesson, real quick. If you want to find the center of a square or rectangle in perspective, right? That would be perspective. We'll say the vanishing point's over there somewhere. But if you wanted to find the center of this, and I'm going to say center is right here, maybe. And I'll say center and middle is right here. I'm guessing. I have no idea. But if you want to find center, what you would do, I'm going to get a ruler for this. Because I want to see how accurate I am. I'm going to get a pen as well. I'll get my green pen. I'm going to draw from center, from one side to the other. Actually, let me, boom. And I know these lines aren't straight with these, but whatever. So center here. And then I'm going to cross these sections here. And this is how you find center. Center is right here. Middle is right there. And I'm not actually too far off, honestly. But I've been kind of doing this for so long that you can kind of, for basic things like this, I can kind of figure it out. So that's how you would find center if you are wondering. But going back here, I'm gonna do these rib cages, and then we'll wrap it up because I'm at I'll be over 40 minutes. So if I'm doing the rib cage, here's the circle area here. This is the widest part of the rib cage here. Probably a little bit further down will actually be the widest part. That's fine. And I'm gonna curve these in. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want to. And then sternum. And then this comes out here. This comes out here. I do want to, sorry, clean these lines up. All right, so this is my rib cage here. Sternum. I like the sternum's off center a little bit, but whatever. All right, so there is my rib cage. All right, so what I'm thinking is I'm trying to, so let me do this again. Okay, so rib cage. Here, I think it's this, right? I think it's, and I'm going to clean this up here. And I need to clean this up because I need to understand something. So I'm gonna make this as clean as possible. And I am going to pull out my reference that I have for the anatomy here. That's not really giving me what I want. You know what? Let's go back to my old sketches here of the structure of man. I'm going to look at my ribcage drawings. I feel like I had a better understanding with these, a little bit better. I need my front view. Where's my front view? Here we go. Okay. So this line didn't connect with the sternum. It kind of connected right outside of the sternum. So it was literally like here and like that. Because what ends up happening is you have these bones here. And I'll only do one side. And I kind of show you guys what I'm looking at right now. This is what I'm looking at. These are my drawings. So here, and then like the back view and stuff like that. This is the stuff that I'm looking at, my own reference. But once again, like I said, I'm trying to understand the actual form of the rib cage to get a better understanding how I would draw how I would relate this in 3D form. Okay. Once again, trying to get my brain to wrap around everything. Okay, so here's this. So I'm trying to figure this in 3D form, right? Going based off of what I've got here. This is where the sternum, because if I'm going based off of this right here, which is what it's doing, it's cutting here. This kind of expands out here. I know I'm not drawing the box here, so, you know, whatever. But I'm trying to get an idea of what this person is trying to relate to in this book and then what I'm actually interpreting in my mind. Here, boom, and then okay. And then, so this is where the sternum would be, right? So I'm going to, where's my colored pencil? Here we go. So I'm trying to understand this. I'm going to move this up here. So this part is the sternum. And what I'm going to do, because the sternum does kind of extend a little bit, I feel like below. So I'm just going to do this. All right. Because that's where where it's trying to say the sternum would be. And you have this here. And this does extend out, like the way this is right here is it's flaring out, so it's coming out this way, and I hope that makes sense because the chest gets wider, right? It gets wider towards the middle, so this has to extend outward to accommodate for that, or to represent that's happening. And then you have, now this is showing the backside, but we're not seeing the backside of the rib cage. We're kind of seeing still the front, but the front side, I guess, is the best way to explain that. So this is going to curve up here, and this is going to curve back. Well, it's curving backwards. And then you have these areas here where this is going, what this is doing is it's doing this, I'm assuming, because yeah, this is the sternum area. So it's not including this part here, because this is still, like, from this is how I'm interpreting it, guys. I'm sorry, this is how I'm interpreting it. It's not including the whole part of the rib cage from the front, right? So when it's doing this, because this is kind of like the side, this is like the side front, I guess, is the best way I can explain it, how I'm thinking about it. So this here is this, and so this is coming back here, and then this part here is this part. So it doesn't have this full on, it's trying to simplify it as much as possible from how I'm looking at it. Or if I wanted to, yeah, I guess it's kind of simplifying as much as possible. I mean, I could technically shrink this and have this incorporate more of that, but I don't think that. So it's like it's trying to incorporate that, and then you would have this part in the front. Now, if I'm doing the rib cage from the side, or from 3/4 view, and I know I have a image of the rib cage from a 3/4 view. At least I thought I did anyway. Yeah, so if I'm doing here, because this angles down. So the way this, as you can see, this angles down, it's not straight. How can I explain this? The opening of where the skull would come out, where the spine would come out to connect the skull, I'll do it this way here. Right, you've got an angle here, and the rib cage goes here. It starts here, like this. So it doesn't go down and then it's not straight and then that way. That's not how it works. So we have an angle, so that's why the hole would be at an angle instead of just a straight top view. So we're at an angle here. This would go here for the sternum, and this would go out. Remember, I'm trying to remember that the midpoint here is where the widest part of the rib cage is going to be. So if I am going to correct this here, because I feel like this is off. So here, and then down here. And then we're gonna curve here, and then this here. Another rib cage is gonna look different from a 3/4 view versus a side view or a front view. I feel like the sternum comes down a little bit more. This curves in, and then maybe back here. Doesn't have to be perfect. I doubt there will be many times that I have to draw a full-on anatomically correct skeleton, but if I ever need to, that's the beauty of reference. All right, so this is what I'm looking at here. So 3/4 view. Remember, we have that angle here where this comes here for those bones of the rib cage. This goes down and then curves around, curves around, curves around. Remember, I'm doing this from my understanding. Definitely do what you need to do for yours. Boom. All right, and this goes down and then curves back around that way. All right, so how I'm looking at this is the midway point, right? So this is where we get, now this is where we get this, right? So what I'm going to do, and this will wrap it up. This will be my studying for today. We have here, and this expands out here. And then you have here, I'm gonna do this, and then back here, and then boom. All right, so you have this area here, and this extends out, right? And then you have here, and that goes this way, and then you have this kicks back here, and this goes here. Like this could have came in more, but whatever. It's gonna probably expand it. There we go. And then here, this comes out here, because that's the wider part of the rib cage. And then this comes in. And then you still have this part here, and then the angle here. So how I'm interpreting, once again, my interpretation is this here is not including all of the rib cage, right? It's not including the very minute details of the rib cage, and that is completely fine. He is, it's breaking it down into form. So the planes of the rib cage versus every little detail when it comes to plotting out the rib cage, because you don't need all of that if you're drawing a figure that's got muscles and skin on top of it, and not even including talking about clothing and stuff like that. So that's my understanding of what has been what he's trying to get through in this particular explanation of the rib cage. I'll go probably my next drawing session or study session, which I may or may not record, I don't know. I'll continue to go into more understanding of what he's continuing to go through, and coming up with my own way of understanding the material versus feeling like I have to try to break everything down or draw everything the way that Tom Fox does. Like I said, for me, breaking the rib cage down for me might work a little bit different versus doing it one way over the other. I'm not quite sure. But that's it for right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.